If you're thinking about reducing your RV insurance coverage to save some money, it might end up costing you a lot more than you think. I'm Jason Epperson, and this is RV Miles, and here we talk about the latest in RV and camping news and tips and tricks for helping you out on the road. Today, I wanted to talk about a problem that I've unfortunately seen a lot of lately as people are without jobs or trying to find work, and that's cutting their car insurance or their RV insurance back in order to save a bit of cash. And there can be some big ramifications for doing so. And a lot of people think, well, my trailer is covered when it is hooked up to the truck by my truck's insurance in a collision, which is generally true, but they're opening themselves up to a heck of a lot of problems at a campground or in storage, all the different things that could happen to an RV. Hail, a tree falling on it, an electrical fire, all that sort of stuff. But besides that, they might be finding a big expense that they didn't know was coming when they open up their loan statement. Sometimes we forget that when we took out a vehicle loan, we promised that lender a certain level of coverage. After all, they own the title. It's their investment. And when you're paying payments on a loan, that lender wants to make sure that if you do something to that vehicle and you default on it and you don't have the money to deal with it, that if they have to repossess your RV, that they're covered in case something happened to it while you owned it. So it's important that you have that minimum level of coverage that your bank wanted you to have. And if you go and reduce that coverage, if you can reduce it below whatever the minimum is, or some people drop it altogether. Maybe you drop it in the fall as you put your RV into storage, thinking that you're going to pick up insurance back again in the spring. And that's a way that you're going to short-term save some money. Well, the insurance companies report back to the lenders anytime there's a change in coverage, just for this reason. And if you drop or reduce your coverage below the minimum, they can actually buy their own insurance and charge you for it. It's called force-placed insurance, and it's very common, and it's hundreds of dollars a month. You might open up your statement from your lender and all of a sudden see your payment has increased by several $100s. This is why they've added insurance to your loan. And what's worse is that insurance doesn't even cover you. It just covers them in case something happens to that vehicle. So it's very important to keep that basic level of insurance coverage. I've seen this happen a few times lately, but sometimes it's not even somebody who's dropped or reduced their insurance. Sometimes it's somebody that's just gone with a different insurance company, and all of a sudden they open up that statement from their lender and their bill has gone way up. Why? Because your old insurance company reported that you dropped insurance coverage and your new insurance coverage didn't get reported to your lender. So what you need to do when you switch insurance companies is to make sure that you actually cancel the coverage. Don't just stop paying on it, because they're going to report you to your bank, they're going to keep billing you, and they're going to report you to credit agencies. So you want to make sure you actually cancel that policy and not just not renew it. Then you want to make sure that your new coverage has no lapses in it, that your coverage starts the same day your old one cancels. And you want to go and report it to your bank lender. You want to make sure that your lender knows that you have a change in insurance. Here's your insurance company. You just call them up and let them know, and that will help solve the problem. Now, if you're looking to save some money, you can shop around between insurers. Just make sure that you're getting that minimum coverage that you're supposed to have, whatever it is that you agreed to when you got this loan. You're often going to get a cheaper rate by switching providers, and then that rate's going to go up the next year. So a lot of people hop around, just like they might do with cell phone coverage or cable, to get the best rate year after year. You can also shop around and then contact your current insurance provider and ask them if they'll match a rate that you find, or ask them if they'll give you a discount. Sometimes they'll give you a discount for garaging your vehicle for several months at a time. You're not going to use it. Now, they kind of factor that into the rates that they charge people for an RV, so you might not get that kind of a discount with an RV, but you might. It's always worth trying. Or you may have more coverage than you're required to have with your bank. So you can find out exactly what your bank requires you to have, go to your insurance provider and see if you can reduce your coverage but still meet the minimum requirements. So don't just go drop your insurance on your RV without really thinking it through and figuring out what you need to do. I hope that helps some people out there. And also, I want to add real quick that if you are a full-time RVer, make sure your insurance company knows that. If you're full-time and you didn't tell your insurance company, they might deny any claim that you have based on the fact that you're full-time and didn't tell them. They're basing their rates based off of the idea that you're using this RV occasionally. And full-time means a lot of different things. Full-time doesn't necessarily mean year-round. One insurance company might think being in your RV for 60 days straight is full-time. By the way, the same goes for RV warranties. A lot of RV warranties say 90 days in your vehicle is full-time. So even if you just camp the length of the summer, you're a full-timer. So really consider these things and pay attention to them, and make sure that you're in contact with your bank as you change insurance companies or as you reduce your coverage, and try to stay covered as much as you can. If you got something out of this video, I hope you'll click the like button, and if you want more like it, please hit subscribe. And also find us on the RV Miles podcast, available on any podcast app each and every week. Talk to you next time.